Welcome back to the Crypto Picture channel, where I help you see crypto through a clear lens. So I know today's been a little bit scary for some. Been getting a lot of messages and what are my thoughts here and such, and it really hasn't changed, guys. Like I made a video just the other day regarding us coming back down and possibly retesting this this support zone, as well as the long-term parabolic uptrend line, which has been in play now since essentially October 2020. And as of right now, we're basically just retesting this area. This is honestly the most critical level in this entire rally, I would say, just because we are closer to the end of the bull market rather than the beginning. Because even if we went for 6 more months, let's say, it's still farther away than when we hit our bottom back here at the end of the bear market. So from what I'm looking at right now, and if we zoom in, I mean, obviously we can tell this is a very critical area based upon this, where we bounce from, right? So we are technically right now in a bowling wedge, bull flag type of pattern. So we'll have to see how this plays out. But as I've been saying in the Discord channel, if you didn't take profits here or here, I wouldn't really be selling here. This isn't financial advice. In no way am I trying to tell you when to buy and sell. This is just educational, okay? But for me, my own perspective, this is not where I would be selling, okay? For example, right now, let's say we are at the bottom of this pattern and we're hitting like a very critical support level. You're essentially selling the bottom, right? And we could be getting a really nice bounce off of here, okay? So you don't want to sell support levels. You want to buy at support levels, okay? That's why I bought most of my altcoins, or in my trading account at least. The reason I entered most of the altcoin positions I was in is because we were at or close to support. So that's why I entered here. And a lot of those are, barely red, if red at all. So let me take a look here. Yeah, I mean, I'm not even in the red on that account. Are some of my positions in the red? Absolutely. But overall, I'm still not down from purchasing here, the altcoins that I did. So am I going to sell here? No, this is going to carry the same thesis that I had when I entered over here. Would have been great if I took profits up here? Yeah, probably. But that's okay. We can't know exactly every time what the market's going to do, right? But what I do know is that I'm still playing this market with a bullish bias that we will get one more parabolic uptrend. If I'm wrong, I'm okay with that, right? Like I've taken out my initial investment already, and on top of that, really here, what are we talking about? Like, if we break structure, okay, it's another 5% from here, okay? At the end of the day, you could have sold here, right? You didn't, or whoever may have or didn't, whatever it may be, right? And now you're down 11.94%. Well, I know you can say, oh, well, now I'm going to be down an additional 5%. Yeah, okay. But since this is one of the most critical support levels for the entire bull market since October 2020, this parabolic uptrend line, do you really want to take the risk of getting out of your positions in this level? I mean, I personally wouldn't, and I'm not going to do that. I am going to play it with the thesis that we are going to do what we've done this entire rally until we don't. Okay, so I would prefer to sell this, okay, below support than sell here and watch prices take off on me. Okay, because in the grand scheme of things, another 5% isn't really going to be a deal breaker. Okay, you're still going to be able to protect a lot of your capital when we're talking about a 5% move here. Could you consolidate primarily into Ethereum and Bitcoin right now? Yes, you could do that. If you want to mitigate your risk, selling into cash is not the answer at a support level. But if you were worried about your position, or you do feel that you may be over leveraged and maybe your position sizing is too big to manage, or is too big for you, then you could decide to move your assets into Bitcoin and Ethereum. That way, if we do drop, you're not going to see another 20-30% hit, right? When Ethereum and Bitcoin drop, it's going to be 5-6%. You know, could we get a really bleak sell-off? Of course. Anything is possible. Could we get a little bit of a dip below this line just to scare the last few people out? Yeah, I mean, we did it right over here, right, on a 4-hour. You can't see it on a weekly, but we were in the process of creating an ascending triangle here, and we ended up breaking it to the upside. Okay, guys, so we did break this line once before on a 4-hour. On the weekly, we never purged this because we're only below this line for... actually, I'll just use the tool. It's a little bit easier. So we were only below this line for approximately... Actually, let's go from the top, sorry. So we're only below this line for approximately 1 day, okay? So 1 day, and we did recover quite nicely, and we continued on with our bull market, okay? So 1 day, 4 hours, maybe you could go over here and say this was the break, but under 2 days, okay? So could we see something similar here? I think so, absolutely. There is something else that I want to show you that we need to keep our eyes on. I mean, we don't know for certain if the US dollar is negatively correlated to Bitcoin, but it is possible, and it sure does seem that way. And if you are curious about that, you can go and watch some of my other videos. I have done some more in-depth videos on the dollar index and the Bitcoin negative correlation. But if we look at Bitcoin dominance, starting to break a little bit higher here. Again, sticking with what I've been telling you guys, a weekly close above this level on the Bitcoin dominance or a weekly close below this level will dictate my positioning and how I approach this market. But with the dollar index, we did get a really bullish bounce here on the weekly. So we'll have to see what happens, and we are now just entering my red zone of resistance. So if we are to get rejected, okay, this would technically be the area in which we would see some rejection between the, and I said this weeks ago that we could come to this 93, 94 level, or between 92 and 94, and here we are. And it's obviously having a negative effect on Bitcoin. So could it be a coincidence? Sure, but we've also seen Bitcoin's biggest bull market from you know, here to here. This correlated to one of the biggest Bitcoin bull markets, and then when we reached here, it was a bear market for Bitcoin, right? So but with that being said, we'll go into the daily here, because I do want to show you guys the 200-day moving average. And actually, let me turn this one on and turn this off. So we perfectly came here and retested the 200-day moving average. I did say that this is really my point of interest here. I really wanted to see how we interact with this level, because if we look back in the US, the Dixie or the US dollar index's history in downtrends, We did get rejected by the 200-day moving average quite frequently. So if we go to the ones that were pretty bearish, we saw multiple rejections by the 200-day moving average. We slightly got above it, got rejected all the way down. Okay, so you get the idea on that. Over here, got rejected. So we've played a pretty critical role here with this 200-day moving average, and we're just going to have to see how we interact with it. But I think if we do get rejected from here, and it would make sense right now with the Bitcoin chart, I'm going to go back to it in a second, even if the US dollar is going to get back above this level, it would make sense for us to get a little bit of fight here. I know here we didn't really get it, but I think it will battle with this area for a little bit, just because the confidence isn't there. Okay, so we'll have to see how it goes, but like we could get something like this scenario here where it battles, tries to get above it, then slightly breaks above it. Okay, and if that does happen, which is very, very possible, okay, it would mix in with what I'm seeing on the Bitcoin chart right now. Because I mean, even if we are going to break below here, we could come back up to this area, create a lower high. If we do create a lower high, it would cause some concern, okay? But if we come back and make a lower high, or a high, if we go up and make a lower high, there will be some cause for concern. But when we come back down, if we create a higher low, that would be, not extremely bullish, but on the bullish side, right? It would show that there is some intent for change from this current downtrend. If we look here, we have bullish divergence on the RSI, okay, right here. So we have a lower low in price and a higher low on the oscillator, and we have seen this quite frequently with these bottoms in Bitcoin, right? So right here we got some higher lows, and then we got lower lows on price, right? So I'll just put this here so you can see. So higher highs or higher lows on the oscillator, lower lows on price, so that is bullish divergence on the 4-hour. And then we also saw it here, okay, we saw a double bottom, but we got a higher low here on the oscillator, okay, right here. So these 4-hour bullish divergences have pretty well caught the bottom every single time in the Bitcoin trend. Does this one look as strong as these ones? No, it doesn't, to be honest. And that's why you guys come here, that's why you guys watch the channel. As much as I'm permeable, I show you guys the charts with no BS, no moon boy BS, right? I try to keep it real. And yes, is there a little bit of concern? Do we look as strong as we did back here on these bounces? No, we do not. But again, if I had held my position all the way down at this point, the risk to reward ratio for you here is much worse if you sell here than if you were to hold here, okay? And again, not financial advice. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just letting you know how I look at these things, and I'm not going to sell my Bitcoin or my my long-term holding account right at this type of support level. Like, it's just not going to happen, okay? And a lot of people make the mistake of selling support and buying resistance. And what I mean by that is, like, people like buying here and then they sell down here when we're hitting a support level. And I see this all the time, especially with the messages I get, like private messages primarily. And people are buying resistance levels, right? Because we used to have this as red when we were under here. This was red. It turned to support since we crossed back above it. And you know what? It makes sense to come back down and retest it before going higher. Does it suck that we created a higher high and then came back down and broke? Yes, but you have to remember, market makers are not going to make it easy for you to make thousands and thousands, or even tens of thousands, or hundreds of thousands, or millions, depending on what your account size is. They're not going to make it easy for you guys, you know. I see a lot of people getting emotional, right? And I mean, I know it's hard when it's your hard-earned money, but fear and greed are money killers, okay? And you just need to look at it from a statistical perspective, right? A technical perspective. And I know some people, you know, they don't believe in this TA stuff. Well, you know what, guys? It's worked out for me. It's made me more profitable. So I don't know. It works for me. If you don't believe in it, then that's your own thing, right? But from my perspective, it has made me more profitable. So I do believe in it, and I do think that it really holds some weight and it's real, okay? All we're looking at is people's emotions on a chart. If that's not real, then I don't know what is, right? It's like when you play a video game and you're beating somebody, right? Do you not get emotional? Do you not get excited? Well, how about if you're losing? If somebody's beating you, right? You get sad, right? You get emotional and you like don't want to play anymore. You almost give up. That's what this is, right? You're winning the video game, you're losing the video game, okay? Unless you're short trading and you're waiting for this. But for the most part, you know, if we look at it from that perspective, that's what it is, guys, right? So hold strong, you know, they call it diamond hands, you know, diamond hands it is. All right, guys. And don't close like if a wick goes below here. Like I'm talking like a weekly close, okay? Because the weekly is much harder to manipulate than these dailies and 4-hour charts and all this stuff, okay? So the way I look at it is if we start closing a weekly, well, yeah, maybe 1 week candle below this, I would probably take a decent amount of profits off here again, okay? But if we were to start closing weekly candles, like multiple weekly candles, 2 weeks, yeah, I would really think that this is done, okay? And I just want to show you, I don't know if it's still charted, but I want to show, I know in the last video I was kind of talking about, how strong these parabolic trends can be, and I just wanted to show you on a stock market asset, okay? So if we started back here, but we can really say we're above the parabolic line here, okay? And once we broke this thing, right? Once we broke this, and this is NIO, okay? So that car manufacturing company. So we got above it, we held above it for an extended period of time, we broke it, okay? Now, that doesn't mean we're gonna go into a bear market necessarily, okay? I'm just translating this over to Bitcoin. It doesn't necessarily mean we're going to go into a bear market. It could, right? And I'm not going to catch something that looks like this. There's no way I'm going to buy this if we break this. But what I'm showing you here is that this trend line broke on a weekly candle. You had a second week, okay, confirm that it closed below the parabolic uptrend. And, you know, like, what are we talking here, guys? From the top to here? You know, even in a traditional stock market, you're talking about 20% from the top, right? Based on my trading strategy and my investing strategy, I'm out of this. I bought NIO back here. I bought NIO around like $3, all right? So based on my trading strategy, yeah, when we break these parabolic uptrends, you get out, okay? And if it comes back above it, fantastic. If it corrects for, you know, a month, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, whatever it may be, and then it shows signs of a reversal, you can always buy again, right? It's not like it's not going to be here or it's going to come back. It's never going to come back. You know, maybe if you don't watch the chart for like a year, then Bitcoin can go from 4,000 to 20,000, right? But if you're, you know, staying true to your strategy and investing, you will be able to monitor these charts, and it's not going to go up 1,000% in a day, guys, okay? It's not going to just like you wake up one day and Bitcoin's at $500,000, okay? unless you go to sleep for like 5 years. All right, so just relax, stay calm, right? Don't get emotional, don't get fearful, and just really have a strategy and stay true to your strategy, and don't think with your emotions. Okay, guys, that'll be it for today. The Discord channel is down below. Please join. It's open to anybody that wants to join. Have the Market Cipher affiliate link down below, and please like, share, and subscribe, guys. It goes a long way. Until next time, take it easy and stay safe.